up? Welcome to Driftin into Freedom. When I tell you how frustrating it's been over the last couple of weeks, y'all, let's just say it's just been a tornado of things happening all at once. If you know what I mean. For me no longer having my car, and now I don't have a job. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. So I guess you could say pretty much that my biggest fear finally came true. Go figure, the economy sucks. But just like a lot of you out there, I just thought I had more time. But it turns out I actually didn't. You know, when I was growing up, like a lot of families out there, we pretty much were struggling. And of course, because of my environment, so many people doubted me, unfortunately. Y'all want to know something funny? When I was 16 years old, this is how much of an imprint it's left on me, even as an adult today. But I remember when I was 16, I actually had a woman compare my public education to her daughter's private education. So growing up, I used to think that I wasn't good enough. So I guess society had already judged me from a younger age. And at that point, I just wanted to get out of my environment. When I was 18, I moved to Chicago. Hello, you Chi-Town folks out there. I actually went to school out there for 3 years, which was pretty cool. But unfortunately, as I found out later, the college that I went to was not accredited. Yeah, so that means that 3-year degree and that $30,000 that I spent on my education, y'all, was completely worthless. Oh my goodness. So when I moved back to Philly, I literally had to start all over again, which pretty much sucked. So here I was back in Philly with $30,000 in debt. And at this point, I had no other choice but to go to school if I wanted to make more money. So instead of taking out more loans, I decided to work 2 jobs. And I'm so grateful that I did. So I enrolled in community college and graduated, and my mom comes to me one day. She's like, hey, they have a scholarship. If you work at a preschool or daycare, this program would actually pay for me to go to school. So I was like, this is awesome. So what did I do? Well, I started working at a daycare, and guess what? I finally got my bachelor's degree. It was the best day, you could only imagine. But I ran into one little problem: applying for jobs. And we all know how that can be. You know, as soon as you graduate college, you're applying for all of these jobs and nobody wants to look at you because you don't have any experience. Until one day, a company finally saw me, and it was the best day of my life. I ended up getting hired, and I'm not going to say the company's name, but I ended up getting hired by this company that will forever change my life. Not only was it like winning the lottery, I was on cloud 9. For the first time in my life, I was gonna finally be able to afford my own apartment. I was able to buy my first car. And guess what? To all the people who hated on me and doubted me, guess what? This girl proved them all wrong. So it was such an amazing turning point for me in my life. And to make matters even better, y'all, in 3 years, I was able to pay off my student debt. I tell you, I like I said, I was floating on cloud 9. For the first time in my life was finally lining up and making sense. I was living my best life, y'all. Or so I thought. But just because things seem okay on the surface doesn't always mean that it's okay behind the scenes, so to speak. Over the years, my company ended up hiring this new CEO, and this particular person decided to lay off folks. Lots and lots of folks. I'm talking about departments. And at that point, I realized that I need to have a backup plan. I need to have some type of business that I can control. And so my mom, who has always been an inspiration to me because she's always been like an entrepreneur, and so she's always kind of sort of, or maybe she didn't realize this, but yes, Mom, I'm talking to you. But she really inspired me to make sure that I have a backup plan, because just like what we're seeing now, all of these companies laying off, well, look at me now. But at that time, I decided to start my Amazon business. And so that was my first introduction into having my own business. And although that business failed, I was always looking for different ways to increase my income, just so that, like I said, there was always, if you lose something over here, you have a backup plan. Y'all, when your intuition is screaming at you, I mean screaming loud, you might want to listen to your intuition, because a few months ago, my company started laying off folks. I mean, thousands upon thousands of people. And I kept thinking to myself, I still have time. I don't think my company would actually do multiple layoffs in the same year, or so I thought. Flash forward to a couple of weeks ago, they did just that. One day I'm coming back from lunch and I get this email inviting me to a Zoom meeting. And at this point I'm just like, this is kind of weird, but okay, whatever. Jump on the Zoom meeting. And at that point, I should have knew something was up, because the person who was hosting the meeting was HR. Hint, hint, missed the flags. Basically, this person is like, so Friday's gonna be your last day. And you need to return your badge. You need to return all company property. So at this point, I'm like in a state of shock, because I'm like, did they just say what I think they said? Did they just say that our last day is on Friday? And I'm just sitting there, and mind you, there's like over hundreds of us on this actual meeting, on this actual Zoom call. And so we're all kind of sitting there shocked. One of the women on the call was actually getting ready to go on maternity leave. And she's like, what am I going to do? My last day is on Friday. And they pretty much were like, yeah, your last day is Friday. And I just thought to myself, this is crazy. This poor woman is getting ready to go on maternity leave in like 2 weeks, all to find out that she's getting laid off. And she wasn't the only person. I was talking to other people, and one of my coworkers, him and his wife worked at my job too, and the both of them got laid off on the same day. And I just thought to myself, this is insane. I can't believe this is actually happening. We go from this company where it's like, I am the brand, I am the face. I go into public and I'm like, I am the company. To, your last day is on Friday. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. Now go. And I laugh about it now, but let me tell you, y'all, these last couple of weeks have been really, really crazy for me. I know to some people on the outside, looking in, if you've never lost a job, everybody goes through their emotions differently. From the outside world, it's like, well, just go ahead and go get another job. And it's not that simple. I spent the last 10 years of my life at this company. I invested a lot of time in this company and made them lots of money. And so it's not just going out and getting another job. Sure, I can do that. But at the end of the day, I also felt like I went into a state of depression and shock for a couple of weeks. And I didn't even realize that I was in a state of depression, but it was normal things that I would normally do. I just had no desire to do it anymore. And I didn't realize that I was depressed until someone actually pointed it out to me. I was keeping myself so busy just for the simple fact that I could just ignore the elephant in the room, because in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna be fine. But y'all, when reality really hit me, it hit me like a bag of bricks. Because then I realized, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't have a job. I don't have any income. So, you know, it took a while for all of that to process. I will say, if you are out there and if you recently lost your job, believe me, I feel your pain. It's nothing like having a steady income, going from having a steady income to going to not having income at all. And so, you know, I'm very, very grateful that I didn't go off and buy a car and buy a house and all of these fancy things, because if I would have had all of these things or been attached to all of these things, let's just say that it would be really horrible for me at this moment. And so I'm really, really grateful that I have a lot of people supporting me. I have, you know, my family has been amazing, very, very supportive. And so, you know, like I said, you know, if you did lose your job, believe me, my heart is with you, because I know how it feels. You know, you go into this state of shock, and to the outside world, you're fine. But internally, it's like, I don't want to be bothered, you know? Although I don't have my job at the moment, everything happens for a reason. And I do believe that God has a bigger plan for me. And he also has a bigger plan for you as well. So at the moment, I'm just grateful that I have a lot of supportive people around me. Y'all my friends, y'all my family. So I'm very, very grateful. I love the support and love that I've been getting out there. And I just want to tell you guys, my heart is here for you guys. You guys are awesome. You are amazing. Of course, you didn't know what was going on in the background, but I'm just so grateful that you all have been really patient with me. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as we drift into freedom together. See you soon. Now that I've been laid off, it's time to make sure my finances are in order. See you on the next video.